Hello everybody, I'm Sharon and I'm going to talk to you about doing A-level English literature at Long Road. Can we see the first slide, please? Okay, so we've got a very lovely team here in the literature department. I'm Sharon, as I said. We've got Julia and we've got Liz and we've also got Hilary, who's the course team leader. And at the end of the presentation, if there's anything that you're desperate to ask that I haven't already covered, then you can email her on that address. Okay, next slide, please. Right, okay, we do some really lovely texts here at Long Road. We start off with doing tragedy as a genre, and we do drama, and so we study Antony and Cleopatra, and we study A Streetcar Named Desire. That will be a whole paper that you'll do when you do your exam. They're really fascinating texts, really lovely. Then we also do prose, so we study novels. And the theme that we do is the supernatural. So we wanted something to get our teeth into, so we've chosen Dracula. I'm sorry. And also a really lovely, fairly modern book. It's only about 5 years old, called The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. They're both very creepy tales, but wonderful, very different, but with similarities. So there are prose choices. We also do 2 lots of poetry. So we do contemporary poetry, which is what we're doing at the moment. Lots of different themes, some challenging ideas, challenging structures, and really fascinating, very modern poetry. And we also do older types of poetry, so it says medieval there, and I know Hilary is very keen on Chaucer. She's a Chaucer specialist, so Chaucer, you may do Chaucer. I love the Victorians, and so I think if you come to Long Road and you get me, you could well be doing Christina Rossetti. Very different, really fascinating. Students always love poetry, so it's fabulous. And then last but not least is the coursework. So the coursework is where you just start to specialise in whatever you whatever's really grabbed your interest. You can do any genre, so you can do a play or poetry or prose, and you do a choice of 2 texts which you decide on. You have to run it by us, but generally we're very generous. And you have to write 3,000 words, which sounds a lot, but actually once you're really grabbed by something, it goes by in no time, and that's really fabulous preparation for university and doing, well, anything at university, but particularly literature. So some fabulous choices there, I think, really lovely texts. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so you might be thinking, well, that sounds good, but also language and literature sounds good. And yes, you'd be right, they are. So let's just have a look at some of the differences. In literature, if you just do A-level literature, all you study are literary texts. So you study poetry and novels and plays. If you do language and literature, then you're going to look at the same things as well, but you're also going to look at non-literary texts. So you'll be looking at poetry and novels and plays, but also at non-fiction. So you might be looking at pieces from a newspaper or magazine or blogs and things like that, and analysing the language. So that's one of the key differences. In literature, the assessment is all essay based, so for both exams and in coursework, whereas in language and literature, it's a bit of a mixture. So you analyse passages, and you also do some essays, and this bit's really, really popular. You get to do some creative writing as well, although it's actually only a small percentage, but it is very, very popular. So with literature, you study 8 books over the 2 years, plus some poetry that is unseen that you have to analyse in the exam. And you also have an anthology of critical essays to look at. For language and literature, you study 7 books over the 2 years. You also have the unseen analysis, and you look at spoken language as well, which is very interesting. For the literature, you tend to take a broader view of the texts. You might look at genre, at characterization, at whole text issues. And for language and literature, it's a little bit more kind of microscopic. So you take a closer view, and you look at things in more detail, a detailed linguistic analysis. So very broadly, they're the differences. Okay, could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So for literature, this is the breakdown of the exam papers. So we do Pearson Edexcel, and as you can see from the big Venn diagram there, it is 80% exam and 20% coursework. There are 3 exams for Edexcel. The paper 1 exam is drama, so that's Streetcar and Antony and Cleopatra, and you have to write 2 essays, and that's 2 hours and 15 minutes. For paper 2, it's the prose texts, and so you only have to write 1 essay, and you've got 1 hour and 15 minutes to do that. And in paper 3, you're looking at poetry, and you write 2 essays for that, including the unseen, where you compare it to a poem that you've previously studied, but you get quite a long time to do that, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then the really, really juicy bit of coursework, the independent study, which is a 3,000-word comparative essay. And as I said before, you get to choose the texts. So whatever genre, whatever you're burning to know more about or share with the world, you get to talk about. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. Okay, can I have the next next slide? Thank you. Okay, so there is various ways of studying at Long Road. You don't just have to do the kind of usual combination of 3 A-levels. Lots of people do, but it's not the only option. It is one option, so you can do 3 A-levels. You can do just diplomas, so you can do an extended diploma, or you can do 3 extended certificates, or you can do a diploma and an extended certificate, and they're all worth 3 A-levels to universities and colleges, or you can do a mixture of both of these things. So for example, you can do an A-level and 2 extended certificates. You can do a diploma and an A-level, and you can do 2 A-levels and an extended certificate. So really have a look on the website and see that there's a huge variety of courses at Long Road, all sorts of fascinating things that you can mix up your study. It doesn't just have to be everything that you've done at school. You can really expand your brain here and pursue things that you're really interested in a way that maybe you haven't really thought of before. Yeah, as it says, at Long Road, you have the freedom to create your own study programme by combining applied diplomas with A-levels. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So this is the really amazing bit, I think. Well, it's all amazing, but the really special bit about doing English at Long Road, and that's trips and visitors and workshops. So in the department, we love going places. Okay, not at the moment. No, nobody can go anywhere. But in the past, we've had some really fabulous trips. We have been to, this is just a very small selection. We've been to Hammersmith Lyric Theatre to see A Doll's House. There we've got the picture of it. It was a really modern interpretation of it. It was really fascinating. We've been to see Twelfth Night at the Arts Picture House, and also we went to Stratford to see the RSC do Twelfth Night, which was that was actually quite magical. We've been to see Hamlet at the Globe, which is always amazing. Othello at the Cambridge Arts Theatre, and a regular trip is to the Fitzwilliam Museum to learn about the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. So if you do end up studying Christina Rossetti, you might well find yourself going along to the Fitzwilliam Museum and looking at some of the Pre-Raphaelite paintings, which she's in some of them, but also her brother was a member of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, and there's lots of his paintings and other people who were in the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood as well. They've got a huge selection there, and they have specialist teachers who can talk to you about it and make connections with the whole Victorian period. It's really fascinating. In addition to that, we have guest speakers and workshops. So we've had Julie Blake, who came in from Poetry by Heart and led a workshop on recital and memory skills through poetry. She's a lady who's working with Cambridge University. We've also had somebody who came in and talked to us about musicality in Twelfth Night, and there was a workshop about turning the play Twelfth Night into a musical. So that was quite unusual, but wonderful. We also had a really fascinating talk by a prize-winning journalist. In fact, it says Pulitzer Prize. He won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, and this was John Fisher Burns, who used to be the foreign correspondent for the New York Times, and he came in and talked to us about his amazing adventures as a journalist, being chased out of countries by dictators who literally wanted to find him and kill him, and it was very interesting, and in fact quite a few students after that said that they wanted to be journalists. So very lively, and we're really keen on bringing English alive. So obviously at the moment nobody's really going anywhere, as I said, but as soon as we possibly can, that will all start again. So it's something to look forward to. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So why do English? What can it, where can it take you? So it can take you in lots and lots of directions for your future. So lots of our students go into university courses, and these are just a small selection, such as English literature, English language and literature, communication studies, English and creative writing, also just creative writing, law and education. That's just a tiny example. English is such a good A-level to have. It's very rigorous, and it's very broad, and universities love it. So common career pathways can include publishing, teaching, marketing, advertising, public relations, communications, copywriting, journalism, the civil service, law, politics, editing, events management, ... anything. We also have students who do English because they love reading, but obviously want to do other things. I think we're going to be talking to one of those very soon. So it's very, very well thought of A-level English, whether it's literature or language and literature, so you can't really go wrong. Okay, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, these are just some of our students with their destinations and how they did. So just last summer, we had Jade here, and Jade was formerly at Chesterton Community College. As you can see, she did very well in her literature. She got an A, and she got a B in history and a B in psychology. And now she is at King's College London studying English, so she obviously did very, very well. Then we had George here the year before, and he also did very well in literature and history and politics, and he's now in his second year doing English and creative writing at the University of Salford, up in Salford, in Manchester. And also Georgina, who was at SOAM, and she did extremely well. She got an A star. She also did politics and art and design, so she did brilliantly overall. And she's now in her second year studying English at the University of Exeter. So very prestigious destinations and students who have done extremely well doing English and other subjects here at Long Road. So it bodes well. Thank you. Can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So you probably don't get the true feel of being of attending Long Road just through your laptop. So you're welcome to come here when everything opens up again. So we've got welcome days in June. So if you apply to study with us, you'll be invited along to an applicant welcome day sometime in June, and they're always great fun. You get to spend the day as a Long Road student, and you try out all the subjects that you're interested in, and you get to know your teachers. We're also having in-person open evenings in June. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be up and running. And so they're going to be in the summer, and so that's nice. So you can see how beautiful our grounds are. And they're going to be summer open evenings for year 10s. But of course, you're welcome to come along for a chance to visit our campus. Before that, if you're a student in September, and we really hope that you will be. Can I see I think it's the last slide. Can I see the next one, please, Steve? Thank you. Okay, so just a little reminder that the application deadline is the 12th of January. So don't dither, get on with it, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in September 2021, which sounds like a long time away, but isn't. And I think there may be one more slide, but I'm not sure. No, there isn't. Okay, so any queries, anything you're not sure about, there's the email address. You can find it. You can just Google the website and you can find us, or you can give us a call if you're unsure about anything. Okay, we have now got one of those students that I was talking about who's actually doing English at the moment. So I'd like to talk to Jess now, if that's all right.
Hello.
Hello, Jess.
Hiya.
Thank you so much for giving up your evening to talk about English. That's completely heroic of you. Thank you. So let's just, I'd like to ask you a few questions. It's all right, if that's all right. What's your favourite thing about studying English, Jess?
My favourite thing about studying English is English gives you a space to interpret different texts, plays, and bring your own views. It's not like set answers, and you can explore deeper meanings within things, and I find that really interesting personally.
Brilliant. Okay, that's lovely. Yes, and I think that's really true, isn't it? We don't, you know, that you're not. It's not wrong. You can't have a wrong answer, especially if you can back it up. Yeah, which is lovely. It kind of expands your brain and your thinking. Fabulous. Thank you. Um, is there anything different about studying English at college compared to studying it at school, would you say?
I think the main difference would probably be that the people studying English at sixth form chose to study English at sixth form. So you meet people who like are interested in that as like the same thing as you, and also that it makes for a lot more interesting class discussions because people really want to give their ideas and you can bounce off each other and then get more yeah, just conversations, good conversations.
Yes, and you can get that. That's right. Yes, thank you. Yes, and you can go into more depth, can't you? And you know, it's yeah, it makes a huge difference when people actually want to be there and they're not just doing it because they have to be. Yeah. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. So Jess, what are your plans after college, and how does college support you with those plans, would you say?
Well, I think my main plan is university. I'm kind of toying between law or something in English or possibly psychology. I'm not quite sure yet, but definitely want to go to university. And the college is like, especially my progress coach has been helping me look at where to look for these courses and find out the requirements for these courses. And then as a whole, like my teachers are helping me stay on track to get these targets if I were to go to these unis. So yeah, they're helping a lot.
Okay, fabulous. Yes, I think it's really important that we try and find the best fit for students. So, you know, not everybody, you know, yeah, we're very broad-minded about where people like to go and like to support people for wherever that is, where's best for them. Okay, lovely. And then last but not least is, what advice do you have for students moving from school to sixth form college, Jess?
I think the main piece of advice is probably that you need to put in your effort from the beginning. It's a lot easier to fall behind if you don't put in your effort, and you need to use like your time management skills to be able to balance stuff you want to do and your work. But the college can help with time management. They have with me because I wasn't great at when I first came, especially your progress coach. If you talk to them, they can help a lot with the time management.
Brilliant. Okay, that's really good. So I think that's the second time you've mentioned the progress coach, and I think students do. I think that's something quite unique here, to be honest, that students get a lot of support, don't they,
Yeah.
from their progress coaches. And they're really lovely people. So that's, yeah, I'm very, very supportive all the way through. You have the same progress coach, and yeah, I think that can make a huge difference to students. Okay, so Jess, that's lovely. Thank you. I didn't prompt you to say all those things, by the way, or pay her. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for giving up your evening. I really, really appreciate that. That's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't think we've got any questions at the moment. Not that I can see. I hope that we've covered everything about, okay, so no questions. I hope we have covered everything. But obviously, if there's anything that you're not sure about, you know, then by all means contact the English department, and we'd be really, really happy to talk to you, to encourage you, and yeah, so that's pretty much it from us. I hope you enjoy hearing about the rest of the subjects, and hopefully we'll see you here in September 2021. Okay, thank you.